It's a short month, but more than enough time for us to groove to the reggae beat. Government is ramping up efforts to keep the vinyl spinning, the track playing, and ultimately the show going despite COVID-19. But that's just a piece of our delicately crafted and soulful story. Today in Jamaica Magazine, we want to share many more threads that were spun to create the legacy of our home and our people. So welcome. I'm Theodore Henry, taking you on this Wednesday journey.
Reggae is the soundtrack of our lives, you know. In other words, it's not like we made an effort to we're gonna like reggae. Reggae is of us, about us, with us, and it has remained true to us as a Jamaican expression. And when I say reggae, I don't make the distinction between fast reggae, slow reggae, ska. I just call Jamaican music reggae.
God knows how much I've tried, the truth I cannot hide, to keep you satisfied. True love I now exist is the love I can't resist. So jam by my side. Ooh, yeah.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, February 10. Starting today, the all-island curfew will begin at 8 p.m. nightly and lift at 5 a.m. the following day. The revised curfew hours will be in effect for the next 14 days ending on February 24. The public gathering limit of 15 has also been lowered to 10. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the disclosure during Tuesday's sitting of Parliament. He says the decision follows a recent surge in confirmed COVID-19 cases. Mr. Holness says the rapid increase in COVID-19 related hospitalization has also been factored into the decision. The COVID-19 ward capacity in the regional health authorities range between 59 and 83%. Prime Minister Holness says the Kingston Public, Maypen and Spanish Town hospitals are at or above 90% capacity.
It is not the objective of the government to kill commerce. We do this very reluctantly, but having great regard to the fact that if we don't act now, we could overwhelm our health system. There is need for a greater sense of urgency, both on the part of the government in our response, but more so on the part of the citizen. You have to take greater personal responsibility.
Meanwhile, legislation is being drafted to give the police powers to ticket persons who violate curfew and quarantine orders under the COVID-19 protocols. The legislation is expected to go before the House of Representatives during the first sitting of the new parliamentary year. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the bill will be another tool at the disposal of the security forces to implement order under the Disaster Risk Management Act.
In my conversation with the Minister of Justice, the legislation is complete in terms of its drafting, and by next week it should be with the Legislative Committee for final approval.
While urging persons to abide by the curfew and quarantine orders, Mr. Holness says the police will step up their enforcement activities in the national interest of keeping persons safe. Effective March 1, farmers and fisherfolk, along with their dependents, will have access to health and life insurance under the Sagicor AgriCare program. 220,000 registered farmers and 26,000 fisherfolk stand to benefit from a group major medical plan, a full house plan, a critical illness plan, a personal accident plan, and a group life insurance plan. Agriculture and Fisheries Minister Floyd Green made the announcement during Tuesday's sitting of Parliament.
This health and life insurance plan is a significant step in the transformation of our agriculture and fisheries sector. Not only are we securing the health and well-being of our farmers and fisherfolk, but we are sending a clear signal to all of Jamaica that farming and fishing are valid professions.
Minister Green says farmers and fisherfolk may benefit from $1 million personal accident coverage with a monthly premium of $217. Critical illness plans start as low as $284.10 per month for a coverage of $500,000. Group life insurance plans for $1 million coverage can be accessed through a monthly premium of $965.95. Minister Green says as of March 1, there will be a 3-month open enrollment period for interested farmers and fisherfolk to sign up without the requirement of a doctor's referral form. Work is also underway for a crop insurance scheme.
Let me also use this opportunity to encourage other private sector members to join us on this journey. Additionally, we do believe that we have enough data out there to enable our private sector to develop an appropriately priced crop insurance scheme. And we believe that our private sector can provide low-interest capital for our agriculture and fisheries sector.
The Zones of Special Operations, ZOSOs, operating in Mount Salem, Denham Town, Greenwich Town, and August Town have been extended by a further 60 days. The resolution moved by National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang was approved during Tuesday's sitting of the House of Representatives. Minister Chang says the extension of the ZOSOs is essential to carrying out social economic interventions required to achieve tangible changes in the communities.
The government, which again is sincerely committed to restoring the identified communities to safe, productive, crime-free environments. We are pursuing all available best practices and seeking to utilize all available security measures, including those that provide additional powers to the security forces.
The National Security Minister says the operations of ZOSOs is being reviewed with the aim to include social investment policy in amendments to the 2017 Act. And finally, churches are being urged to play a greater role in the fight against youth underdevelopment and unemployment. The call is being made by Northern Caribbean University President Dr. Lincoln Edwards. According to Dr. Edwards, as civic organizations, churches must play a role in national development by investing in the youth as a crime prevention strategy.
They are an important asset that needs to be recruited in this fight. Many churches have buildings, prime buildings, that are only utilized 2 to 3 times per week. And then it's just left dormant. I am suggesting that those churches, those buildings, can be utilized as learning centers, internet sites, and places of refuge for unattached youth.
Dr. Edwards was giving the keynote address at the recent launch of the Interagency Network Youth Program of Kingston and St. Andrew. The initiative falls under the Planning Institute of Jamaica's Community Renewal Program, which aims to increase youth involvement in community development. 20 unattached youth between the ages of 18 and 29 from Trenchtown and Tivoli Gardens are part of the first phase of the program, which is being implemented at a cost of $15 million. The participants will receive training in project management, proposal writing, and other key areas. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Jamaicans are uniquely known for some stellar leg and arm moves, so that even those who are deaf can easily express that true Jamaican beat. Our team met with 3 deaf dancers to watch their art. Take a look.
There's a sort of purposeful selection of the sequence in these human movements. The symbolic significance of hands massaging the air and feet beating to the vibrations of songs. They're focused, energized, ready, and raring to go. If you think about it, they are just like you and I. Well, of course, that's if you can dance. But one thing might be different.
I've been deaf for 23 years, and I've been dancing for 10 years. I've been deaf for 21 years, and I've been dancing for 14 years. So I've been hard of hearing ever since I was born until now, and I've been dancing for 16 years.
Yes, persons like Christoph, Kimberly, and Damani dance. And despite nature's act of removing a seemingly valuable aspect of their senses, these 3 are pursuing a certificate in dance at the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts, but not without some challenges.
Well, my experience here, at first, when the 3 of us just arrived, we were a bit awkward in terms of communicating, but then We were able to learn from each other, learning from the hearing students, and we were able to, we had issues as well with the rhythm, keeping up with the rhythm at all times, but then we were eventually able to catch up and we started to improve gradually. So for me, my main issue is timing. So I try to work along closely with the other students in the class and the teacher as well. And then eventually I'm able to catch up with the timing in terms of the music. So my challenge during class, it's really to ensure that my body is moving with the timing and the music.
Deaf dancers do move on the beat and in one accord with the rhythm, but the surprising element in this for most persons is just how are they able to, or even why did they choose dance?
I hear a little of the music and I can feel the vibration on the floor as well. So it's not that bad for me. So I use that method throughout.
With his sense of touch heightened through his loss of hearing, Damani can interpret the music through the vibrations he feels. Deaf dancers are visual learners, so for them, their instructors sign the moves or the counts. While other dancers are busy remembering the details of the moves, those like Damani, Kimberly, and Christoph are counting, keeping time, and watching keenly what their hearing peers are doing so they can interpret the steps.
So I chose to study dancing because dancing is my life. It's my passion ever since. So I want to learn more and more about dancing. I don't want to give up. I don't want to stop. I want to continue. Because my goal is to become a dancer in the future. So when I'm finished at Endemani College, I want to become a dancer and I want to perform around the world. So my goal is to become a dance teacher so that I can empower younger deaf children who really love dancing and empower them so that they can, be as good as I am. It's their turn.
But for acting dean at the School of Dance, being deaf is not the biggest obstacle for becoming a great dancer.
I don't want to describe what we have as challenges. I want to describe them as opportunities to learn. What fundamental to dance is the ability to demonstrate and for the dancer to use their eyes and observe and learn the experience in a visual way and then demonstrate what it is that they have been taught. I think one of the interesting things about the deaf students is that their other senses are heightened. And so they're able to access the information in other ways and quite differently from the hearing students. So it's very interesting to see the learning dynamics, but the end result and the objective or the learning outcome of the experience are still achieved. And we're very happy about that because ultimately we want them to succeed.
And while for the school it is the first time opening its gates to persons like Christoph, Kimberly, and Damani to study dance,
they're eager to receive the information and we're inspired by this drive to learn and to succeed. So even though we have an interpreter, the interpreter is also learning from the experience because we have interpreters who have never been in a school environment like this where dance is concerned. So they're also learning new language. It somehow feels as though they've brought more to us.
For many of the deaf community, the fear of fitting in lingers. But for Christoph, Kimberly, and Damani, dancing is passion-driven and determination-ruled.
Well, I hope that what we've done here at the Endemani College in terms of opening our doors to 3 deaf students will encourage others and inspire them to go after their dreams.
So I remember in high school, there was a quote that says, "I believe I can achieve." I go by that. So in the Bible, it talks about, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I believe I can achieve.
After that bit of workout, let's unwind with some food, and not just any food, but something to restore and revitalize the body, something nutritious. Whether you buy it or you plant it, here are some nutrients that you'll need to power through.
Eating healthy by having a balanced diet consisting of items from all the food groups and consuming the right portions is important to get the nutrients vital for disease prevention, growth, and good health. Essential nutrients are building blocks for the cells that make up the body, from bone to muscle, skin, and hair. One of the most critical ones is protein, which is made up of different amino acids, some of which the body can make on its own. We need a variety of proteins to function properly, many of which can only come from the foods we eat. Meats, fish, and eggs are essential sources from animals, while plant sources include beans, nuts, and some grains. How much protein you need daily depends on a variety of factors, including how active you are and your age. Carbohydrates are the main nutrients for fueling the body's energy needs, especially our central nervous system and brain. They help protect against diseases, but some carbohydrates are healthier than others. Some healthy sources include your fresh produce, such as yam, banana, breadfruit, and tubers, as well as whole grains, fiber-rich vegetables, and fruits. Less healthy sources include refined grains and products with added sugar. Fats often get a bad rap, but it's important to know that healthy fats are essential to our body's function. Fats aid in vitamin and mineral absorption, blood clotting, building cells, and muscle movement. Fats are high in calories, which is a measure of energy from foods, but the World Health Organization recommends keeping daily calorie intake from fat at under 30%. Including healthy fats, which are the unsaturated fats in your diet, can help balance blood sugar, decrease the risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes, and improve brain function. Healthy fats are also powerful anti-inflammatories and can lower the risk for arthritis, cancer, and Alzheimer's disease. Some of the well-known unsaturated fats are the omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. Sources of these healthy fats include fish, seeds, nuts, and vegetable oils, olive, avocado, and flax seeds. Trans fats are to be avoided, and we should also limit our intake of saturated fats, of which the main sources are animal-based and include butter, cheese, red meat, and ice cream. Vitamins are organic compounds essential for normal growth and are required in small quantities. There are 13 essential vitamins that the body needs, and these help lower the risk of diseases such as lung and prostate cancer. Vitamin A supports healthy vision, skin, and bones. Powerful antioxidants like vitamin C boost the immune system and helps the body heal. Eating a varied and well-balanced diet of fruits and vegetables should supply the body with the required vitamins. Minerals are also important nutrients needed for building strong bones and teeth. They help with regulating our body's metabolism and keeping us properly hydrated. The mineral calcium strengthens bones and teeth and helps with nerve signal transmission. It also helps to maintain healthy blood pressure and with muscle contraction and relaxation. Iron supports red blood cells and hormone creation, while the mineral zinc boosts the immune system and wound healing. The body also needs water, which improves brain function and mood, and acts as a shock absorber and lubricant in the body. Water also flushes our toxins, carries nutrients to cells, hydrates the body, and prevents constipation. Even mild dehydration can make us feel tired and impair concentration and physical performance. In addition to drinking water, we can hydrate ourselves by eating fruits and vegetables such as spinach and watermelon. Start treating your body right. As you grab your next meal, make sure you're getting all the nutrients needed in their right proportion.
A lot of nutrients are found in plant-based foods, as you would have seen earlier. Well, you can do your own bit of farming, and guess what? Land space doesn't have to be the issue. Agriculture is a staple of our culture, and government continues with efforts to make it much easier to tap into.
To provide jobs for persons, it lets me feel like, I'm really contributing to the economy of the country. It's just a good feeling, and to produce the quality products, to compete with the international market, and to produce goods that actually look much better than imported goods, it's a good feeling for me.
Agro-Investment Corporation continues to scout for lands in Jamaica that are best suited for agricultural production through the National Land Agency and the Commission of Lands, and also with private enterprises. So wherever there is unused government lands or private lands, Agro-Investment Corporation will profile these lands.
So by now, we should all be aware of the benefits of leasing lands from the government. But once you've leased the land, how do you maximize returns? Well, knowing the soil type is important. For instance, did you know that over in the Ebony Park Spring Plain Agro Park, the soil type impacts the kinds of crops that can be planted there?
Ebony Park Agro Park is about 1,100 acres, and likewise the Spring Plain, and that's roughly all the lands within there. There are areas of non-arable areas, but there are arable areas. Arable areas amount on the Ebony Park side to about 800 acres. There's a lot of different soil types, predominantly Bonegate, clay loam. Basically anything can grow here. Once it requires a pH of about 6.5 to about 7. There are pockets where the pH might fall to about 5.5, 5.8. So if there's a crop that needs to be having a lower pH, soil could be amended to facilitate that. But basically anything will grow.
So let's revisit our checklist. We've applied and submitted all the necessary documentations, including proof of our capacity to invest in the land. We've learned about soil types and pH balances in the soil. What's next after you've been approved?
They would assign you a plot number, or they'd give you a designated area to where you'd be assigned. I guess you'd view it to see maybe what you'd need to do. If it needs a bit of clearing, you might want to look at that, how you go about doing that. You'll be advised as to the best way to get that done. You might want to go to the NIC because our water is pressurized, and so the NIC supplies it. So a part of your contract would give you the ability to go to NIC with tenure of land, and then they would then come and put your meter on so that you get ready supply for water. We also offer tractor services to plow, harrow, farrow, and other activities that you might want, rotovate and so on for your lands. So you'll be able to do that. Once you do that, we could tell you of maybe different cycles, crop cycles, where you might want to plant, best time for certain crop. You might be able to go out of these seasons, but at least we'll be able to tell you that this crop does well in a particular season. The risk might be higher in another season, but so might be the returns. So you could get advice as to that. So local advice will be there ready for you.
Meet Henry Givens, a youth farmer who is a beneficiary of this initiative. He started out acquiring just 5 acres of land, and today he is up to 15. Givens plants various crops at different stages, including Scotch bonnet pepper, sweet potato, and Maruga red watermelons, as well as slicing and plummy tomatoes.
Leasing land from the government, it is beneficial, and at the point where I would actually want to lease more if available. I am not employed otherwise, so it allows me to take care of my 2 babies, and it allows me to eat and survive. So it is something very beneficial, I would say. Life here at Ebony Park, it's twofold. It's good sometimes, and sometimes it's challenging. One, persons around, some persons, they know what to do with their crops, for example, and they don't want to do it. So sometimes, we have a lot of pest and disease outbreak, and some persons just don't want to invest the funds or do what is right to actually, make the agro park much better and a much cleaner environment. And then, also,
sometimes there's a major issue with the whole irrigation system. It costs a lot sometimes because even if you look into the pepper field, sun scalding is a result of a lack of water supply sometimes. But it's a blessing, and there is not only negative because once you have irrigation, then without the irrigation, I couldn't do anything like this, none at all.
Farming can be an expensive venture, but it's also beneficial. As a youth farmer, the challenges may not even be financial.
Some older persons, because they're so, relatively young, they don't want to work with you because they said they don't want to work with a younger person. However, sometimes it's good to know that, for some persons that really can't afford to go into the farming as deep, that you can provide them with not only a job, but you can also assist them with technical advice to improve their smaller production that they do as well. My advice to younger farmers or investors is that they should not be discouraged or swayed from agriculture. It is something that can be beneficial, and this is a good way to make a good foundation for themselves and their families. So it's something that they should look into and be strong about it. That's the only way we can build our country.
Do you know what a disability is? A permanent loss of function in any part of your body is called a disability. Some people are born that way. Others get a disability because of an illness or an accident. This doesn't have to prevent you from living a full life. The Disabilities Act will protect your right to work, raise families, or do business like anyone else. Visit jcpdja.com. A message from the JCPD, an agency of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
Like all good things, Jamaica Magazine comes to an end, but you're sure of another delivery of the program tomorrow, so meet us here then, on this station or even on our YouTube channel. Also keep up with the JIS by visiting our website and follow us on our Facebook, Instagram or Twitter pages. From all of us here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching and keep safe.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.